Domestic terrorism is on the rise. Let's talk about it. The left hate Donald Trump, but they can never tell you why. They'll say, oh, he's a racist, but then act surprised when you inform them that Trump increased his vote among every racial minority, including blacks. They'll say, oh, but he's sexist. But then they'll act surprised when you inform them that Trump is doing more to protect biological women's rights than Joe Biden or Barack Obama ever did. They'll say, oh, he's an egoist. But then they'll act surprised when you inform them that Trump insisted on being paid just $1 a year as President of the United States and has likely lost billions of dollars more from his private businesses just so he could serve his nation. And don't forget about all the lawfare that he has had to endure so far. He was looking at the very real prospect of spending the rest of his life in prison due to the lies and the insanity of the filthy, disgusting, woke left. In other words, the entire rationale of the left comes down to this one thing: orange man bad, bloody freaking idiots. And if Trump is bad, then by extension, they insist anyone who voted for Trump must be bad as well. This is how twisted and perverted the left are. They will hate on a guy who saves them money simply because he is associated with President Donald Trump. These idiots, which is what they are, these idiots, without any coherent argument to explain their opposition to Musk, have taken to vandalizing Tesla dealerships and cars. But it's worse than vandalism. To call these acts vandalism is to understate their aims and the danger they represent to us all. Correctly understood, those vandalizing Tesla outlets are domestic terrorists, and they should be treated accordingly. Terrorism is using violence to achieve a political ambition, and that is exactly what the left is doing. They are committing acts of terror against Tesla in a bid to intimidate and threaten Elon Musk with the aim of forcing him out of politics. We cannot and we must not tolerate a culture in which people resort to such tactics. To ignore it or to treat it as anything other than terrorism is to encourage more of it. Let me give you another example of domestic terror right here in Melbourne, Australia. An Irish hip-hop band brought on stage the severed head of King George V, a statue that was beheaded last June. Police say they have been investigating the attack on the Botanic Garden statue for the past 10 months. Of course, all without success. Well, now they've got a pretty big lead. Someone walked into a Melbourne venue, at which this band was playing, of course, carrying the statue's severed head under their freaking arm. Now, I'm quite sure CCTV cameras would have picked this up, but have the police sought the footage? They say they are investigating, but what have they done? The Irish band members mocked the severed head as the crowd booed the monarchy, and band members declared the colony must fall. Police, they should be all over this. We have anarchists in Melbourne and around this country destroying Crown property in order to make political points. It is domestic terrorism, and it's only on the increase. Today, it's the severed head of a statue, but how long until it's the severed head of a monarchist? Whatever law enforcement tolerates becomes the norm and gets worse. People in the West have always been free to disagree and to argue their point of view in the public square. It is only recently that we have allowed people to bypass arguments and skip straight to terrorism, as if it is a legitimate form of protest. It is not. I'm Senator Alphabet for United Australia Party.